What's up, guys? Another edition of Riding Home. Dylan Weber, Matt DeBary, Brendan Kuerner. First game of the season. Vanderbilt, Georgia. Georgia wins 30-6. Just initial feelings?
It wasn't the most exciting game, and I know everyone thought expected Georgia to score more than 30 points. They got the job done. They rushed for over 300 yards and couldn't get a ton going in the passing game. But, I mean, I think they scored a touchdown on their first 3 drives. Looked like it was going to be a blowout. And then the offense kind of, took a step back.
I mean, that's the thing. I think everyone, expected a little more, but at first it seemed like that's what was going to happen. I mean, it was 21-0 pretty damn quickly.
And they look great. They look like the number 3 team in the country. Penalties were a big issue tonight. The biggest play of the game, I thought was the 53-yarder to Demetrius Robertson. Perfect throw by Jake Fromm, still early in the game there. And that was a big play that we didn't really see throughout the game. This game kind of lacked those exciting big plays down the field. They had one there. Isaiah Wilson called for the holding. Solomon Kinley was called for a holding. Ben Cleveland was called for a holding. Penalties really racked up and cost this team some points today. And they can't be happy with 30 points.
Defensively, too, it kept Vanderbilt on drives longer than it should have. I mean, I think it was right before the second half, there was 2 or 3 penalties on the defense that just kept him on the field. And it almost seemed like Vanderbilt's entire drive was just penalties.
Yeah. I don't want to make too much of it, but everything was very vanilla. I thought they tried to get a little cute with some jet sweeps here, and some of that worked, but a lot of it was, simple runs to the left, to the right, up the middle, which worked. And they didn't get away from the run game because they didn't need to. They knew they could ground and pound their way to this win. It wasn't exciting. Again, it wasn't pretty, but that was Georgia football. They rushed for over 300 yards, 2 easy scores, and felt like the game was out of hand, but they never took that next step and really stepped on their throat. Vanderbilt hung around, but the game was never in any doubt.
No, I mean, Georgia seized it very quickly, but once again, they just kind of floundered very quickly for the rest of the game. You end with 30 points, which is fine. They cover the spread. But when you start off with 21 points, you kind of expect more, I feel like.
Where am I going?
Really
Right. Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. Especially, I thought the offensive line kind of let up a little bit too. That 4th and 2. Yeah. I mean, I think Georgia, with how good that offensive line is against Vanderbilt, should never fail on a 4th and 2 like that.
Yeah, and they did dominate those first few series. I was watching them closely. Andrew Thomas was kicking butt. Everyone was doing really well. And then, Fromm got some pressure on him here and there. He got hit a couple times. They did, struggle a little bit in short yardage situations, especially on that 4th down. And they've got to make those type of plays, especially against better opponents down the road. You got to do it against Vanderbilt, but it seems like kind of those issues, if you want to call it that, from last year maybe are still there a little bit. I mean, we talked, a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, is this team as good as we think they are? Today they weren't, but they still covered the spread. I don't know if we're being too harsh on them, but everyone expected more than 30 points.
It's a small sample size.
Right.
To be fair, it's the first game of the season. I think you kind of have to expect a little rust to be knocked off. And a lot of these guys, especially on the defense, it's a lot of new people.
Yeah.
A lot of people who haven't really played a lot. I mean, Aziz is a great player.
Yeah.
Jermaine Johnson's a very good player. Nolan Smith, a very good player. But none of those guys have really played significant snaps for Georgia. And that's got to play a part in it. They just kind of have to get warmed up to this game. And they looked solid.
Well, the young guys played well. Trayvon Walker did play a lot. He made a lot of plays. Brendan, any thoughts? So you shot the game from up top. Is there anything that you saw that maybe people on TV didn't see?
I would just say Kirby Smart probably said it best in the post-game press conference. He said, anybody watching that game could tell Georgia's a good football team, but that's not the great football team Georgia fans expect to see. Just going, no, stay right. Okay. 213, exit 8. But no, I mean, Kirby Smart and the fans of Georgia expect teams like this one to go and blow out Vanderbilt, to the tune of 56-7, 56-0, and that just didn't happen tonight because, like Dylan was saying earlier, it looked like they were knocking a little bit of the rust off.
And you talked about the play call being a little vanilla. I think we just kind of have to expect that at this early on. They're not going to bust out everything that they have against Vanderbilt, especially when next week it's Murray State. They'll probably be the same next week too. I doubt that it's going to be. In fact, it might be even more vanilla, to be quite honest.
Well, it definitely will. I definitely wanted to see more shots down the field, and they took a couple. Obviously, one was called back, and then there was the
Exit 53.
Exit 53, okay. But Kyrus Jackson fumbled on the 5-yard line there. Was going to be a big play. You take over. What exit is this?
53.
All right, cool.
Get right.
All right, cool.
On the field, it's okay. So personally, DeAndre Swift ended with 152 yards, or I guess 49.
149.
Yeah. On the field, I did not think he had that many yards. I guess it doesn't surprise me because he did have some big runs.
Yeah.
But I was not thinking that much.
But he did almost have his career high in carries. I think his career high before this game was 18, and he had 16 carries tonight. So he's definitely going to be that one guy. I mean, I think Brian Arian had 12 carries.
Brian Arian, yeah, he played a lot, and I thought he ran the ball well.
He did. I thought he had more yards than he ended up with.
Yeah.
Zamir flashed for sure.
That was
hit
just
a couple good plays.
I mean, that was just truly. I thought that was really special to see. I mean, everyone.
That was great.
It's not like he did anything that crazy, but just to know what that guy has been through this past little more than a year now, almost 2 years. I mean, it was just awesome to see on the field, just the fans' reactions to it. I mean, they're all just chanting Zeus, and I saw him. He's walking off with Devod Wilson, and he's trying to stop smirking, but I mean, everyone's yelling at him, cheering for him as he's walking in the locker room, and he can't just help but break a smile. And Devod Wilson's right there, and he's just like, "Yo, man, just smile."
He's earned it. He's 100% earned it. Let's go talk about the defense a little bit. Guys who I thought stood out: Jordan Davis on the defensive line. David Marshall made an impact early on. Didn't see him a ton later in the game, but Eric Stokes broke up a couple passes. The secondary, other than the Devod Wilson late hit out of bounds, I thought the secondary played really, really well.
Which was a very iffy call to begin with. He kind of nudged him just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't call Tyson Campbell for the pass interference.
I thought that was. I didn't think that was pass interference.
Yeah, I thought it was a great play.
I thought Tyson played really well.
Yeah,
personally.
Only one turnover came with about 5.5 minutes left. That was mostly on a Vanderbilt, mishandled.
Exit 5.
Yeah.
Exit 5. Okay, cool. But I thought they might have more turnovers. Only one sack was shared by Channing Tindall and Azeez Ojulari, but a lot of these young guys did play really well. Quay Walker played a good bit. He had a bad penalty late in the game, but he was in there making some tackles. Tay Crowder was all over the place a little bit. Missed some angles. He didn't play a perfect game. Monty Rice had some tackles. I think Mark Webb also had 7 tackles.
7, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was in on more than we thought. But, they rushed on Georgia a little bit. That read option gave them a little bit of trouble in that second quarter, and they found, they were able, not necessarily gas Georgia, but get some yardage here and there. But I do think that, unlike the offense, the defense did make some second-half adjustments and really stopped that and played really well, especially in that second half.
Vanderbilt had 30 carries for 116 yards. I'd say that's pretty solid.
Was that 3.4?
Yeah, I mean, Georgia could do better than that, but for the first game of the year, I think that's pretty solid. I mean, they didn't really let up any big runs that I can think of.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, nothing.
Yeah, there weren't any really big runs, and then what impressed me from the top was
South or north?
South.
Okay.
What impressed me from the top was, the new defensive coordinator got in here, and on third down, you could tell he was kind of experimenting with blitz packages and stunts that would throw offensive linemen off, and especially in the first half, Vanderbilt was struggling offensively.
Yeah, and they should have. I think that's what Georgia fans and what these players and coaches expected, to probably give up around 6 to 10 points. I said 45-13, so the defense gave up 7 more, less points than I thought. Again, it didn't look pretty at time for the defense, but looking at the numbers, they played really well.
One thing I don't think anyone really asked about this, and I'm not really thinking about it much until now, but Tyler Simmons on punt returns. I thought he looked really good.
He did.
Was there one where his knee was on the ground and they had to bring it back? Yeah, he had a lot of room to run there. That was a mistake. And then there was another nice punt return that was called back late in the game. I think Jermaine Johnson was a block in the back or hold or something. So those were 2 missed opportunities. And they gave up the fake punt that Vanderbilt had was successful. But other than that, I mean, Rodrigo was 3 for 3. He was booming it.
Had a 50-yarder?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jake Camarda's first punt, that ball...
65 yards.
Yeah, but it went back. I mean, that ball would have rolled 90 yards. He killed that ball.
He can kick the shit out of the football.
And he did today. They went in the end zone, but that ball was flying through the air.
And then his second punt was pretty good, too.
Yeah,
I think the average on the day for him was 54 with only 2 punts.
Yeah.
That first one went to the end zone, obviously, but boy, that thing was rolling back there. If he would have punted that on the 10-yard line, I mean, he definitely crossed. Yeah.
Average of 54, long of 65.
So we did see Tyler Simmons punt return, James Cook kick return.
Yeah.
He had
Kirby, did you hear what Kirby had to say about that?
I didn't.
It was pretty funny. Someone asked what kind of the green light he gives the players to return out of the end zone, and he asked about James Cook because he took it from pretty far back.
About 8 yards deep, yeah.
Kirby just said he doesn't have the green light for that. That's just youthful exuberance. And yeah, that sounds about like James Cook.
He made it across the 20.
Yeah, that's pretty. I saw him take it out, and I was just like, "Is he really doing that right now?"
Yeah. I can't remember the last time though we've seen the punt returner have so much room to run consistently.
Well,
Tyler Simmons always had room to run each punt return.
I want to say that's a little bit of Vanderbilt's punter as well. Like very, very low punts, not a lot of hang time, so Georgia could kind of set up quicker, and the Vanderbilt guys couldn't really get down there to cover Simmons. I think that's why he had a lot of room to run.
I mean, imagine if Mecole Hardman had that much room.
Yeah.
I mean, Mecole never had that much room.
Guy we haven't talked about too much, who definitely deserves some praises, Demetrius Robertson.
Oh, of course.
First touchdown of the year?
Yeah, definitely. First touchdown of the year. You see the speed, you see the playmaking ability, and something that we've been talking about off the record, watching practice, is the drops from the receivers. We talked about that on the right up here. I don't think they had a drop today. I mean, lots of incompletions, but I don't think any of them were dropped.
No, I don't think so either. I was thought that Demetrius Robertson or Matt Landers might have one. Those are the kind of the guys I'd see them, but they both had, took advantage of their opportunities.
Matt Landers did have a couple catches, right?
Yeah, he didn't really do a whole lot, but it wasn't bad. They didn't do anything too bad.
They gave Pickens a red zone target,
two times, back to back. And I sat there and I said to the person next to me, I was like, they really just want him to go for a one-hander right now. They just want that to happen.
Well, you can see up in the press box, everyone's, Pickens one-on-one up there, $50 says that's right where they're going.
Otherwise, they didn't really throw the ball to him that much, did they?
Yeah, I think it was just those two. My boy Don Blaylock thought he would play a little bit more, and maybe if they were blowing him out more in the second half, he might have come
I bet he'd play next week. Yeah. Stetson didn't play either. Which I'd say that's probably a disappointment for Georgia in this game, that they couldn't. Yeah. If they're not able to play Stetson Bennett, then I think that's probably a disappointing game.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to judge it.
The numbers don't look great for Jake Fromm, but I still thought he played pretty well. He did get some pressure in his face. Not every throw was great, but he started off 5 of 6, 50-something yards, a touchdown, and it didn't unravel, but it didn't necessarily get better. But a lot of the calls were, again, the 50-yarder was called back, and penalties put them in some awkward positions at times, but Jake didn't play bad. Wasn't his best game, but I wouldn't say he played bad. I'm
trying to think. So on the Kearis Jackson fumble, Jake doesn't get those yards added either, does he?
No,
because that was a good 45, 50-yard play.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have the D-Rob touchdown, Kearis doesn't fumble the ball. I mean, Jake's numbers probably look a lot better. He's easily into the 200-yard mark at that point with the second touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no point where I thought, wow, that was a bad play by Jake. Right. I thought about everything he did was about to the best of the opportunity with those presentable.
74B?
Yep.
All right. Is that coming up? Is that what you're telling me? Okay.
Should be.
Next exit?
Yeah, the next right.
Cool.
So, I mean, it was I think, let me see, it was 18 to 23, 16 to 23, 156 yards, touchdown for Jake Fromm. I mean, those are fine numbers, no turnovers.
Right. And that's the big issue.
Yeah.
Right at the light.
Did Georgia Georgia didn't turn the ball over. No, they went forward on the 4th down.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
their only
turnover
turnover,
downs.
right?
Yeah. That's more on the offensive line than Jake
Yeah,
Long.
I mean,
But they stacked the box. They knew it was coming, but you still have to...
But still, I mean, for what this offensive line is supposed to be, 2 yards, I feel like they should have that. And I don't want to say that's a concern yet.
I'm glad they didn't do some cute little tricky jet sweep and get blown up, though. I like that they kept trying to...
Yeah.
They bounced it off tackle. They didn't really go up the middle.
But they ran it straight forward.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like Vanderbilt in 2016 on the 4th and 1 when they gave it to Isaiah McKenzie. Like that.
Less than half a mile on Brentwood Boulevard. One thing tonight, though, that was kind of quiet was the tight end group. You didn't really hear a lot about them. You didn't really see a lot from them.
Well, they blocked really well. The
Yeah.
James Cook touchdown, that was Charlie Warner and Eli Wolf down there and just handling their guys. Charlie Warner blocked his ass off today.
Yeah,
and that's something you can see easily from the press box.
And Eli did too. I thought Eli played pretty well.
He played more than I thought. I mean, I thought John Fitzpatrick would be seeing a lot of the playing time.
He did play.
He did
play a decent bit too,
decent
right?
Bit, yeah.
Left to the leg.
But did they never rolled? Did they ever roll 3 tight ends out there?
Not that I
Maybe.
saw.
I can't
right
remember.
Yeah, left here.
I can only remember them rolling out 2, and I feel like those 3 are pretty dependable. So I was wondering if
Did the tight end group have any receptions?
Yeah,
Charlie caught 1. Eli caught 1.
Yeah, that might be it though.
Yeah.
I think they just had.
I think
1
8 different
apiece.
guys got catches. So
That's
Jake
pretty solid.
he distributed the ball
Yeah.
out around for sure.
I mean, with only 15 completions too, 16 completions.
And that's.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and George Pickens didn't get a reception, right?
No, 2 balls thrown his way.
So I mean, that's an easy 9 if you want. I mean, you just.
The second one, it looked like it just went well out of bounds. Didn't really give him a chance to go up and make a play on the ball.
The first one, he was able to kind of get his hand, on it at least.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for a one-handed catch. Maybe that's.
I think everyone was. They tried to give him an opportunity for it.
I bet he'll have one this year. I think he tries a lot in
It's
practice.
something he practices on. I mean, Odell does it too. I mean, it's something you have to practice if that's going to be part of your game. But is there anything we're missing? We hit offense, we hit defense, special teams. We talked about it a little bit. Again, wasn't the prettiest game. Wasn't the most exciting. I think if you're a college football fan, the average college football fan, that game might have put you to sleep a little bit. But Georgia did what they did. They ran the ball over 300 yards. Said it before, and they played really good defense. So
it was. I mean, it was a fine game.
Unlike Tennessee, they took care of business.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's nothing to complain about yet. At least, if this was Murray State, then it would be a little bit of a panic mode. But Vanderbilt is a adequate team.
there's no doubt.
Georgia should win the game, and they should win it handily.
And they played a little better than I thought. They came out and played hard. I thought they did.
Yeah, I thought I thought they ran the ball pretty well for what they were going up
Vaughn's
against.
a good running back. So he was gonna make something happen every now and then.
I guess I'll park.
All right, we are pulling in. That is the end of Riding Home. Thank you for tuning in. Check out dogpost.com for more content on tonight's game. See y'all.